Alright, so there we go. Alright, so Adobe Illustrator apparently likes to open up full screen, so I'm going to fix that real quick here, because this is just gigantic right now. Alright, so Adobe Illustrator. This is like kind of our meat and potatoes a lot for doing graphics. It tends to be the program, I'd say, as far as what we do in media art, that probably the most of you really like. Probably because it's the one that I spend a lot of time on. It used to be my least favorite program. But once I had to teach it, I learned to love it, and I think you all are going to love it too. Alright, so when you open up for the very first time, it's sitting here telling me about all these new features for 2020. Again, you may or may not even have this version. It might not look exactly like this. We're just going to close right out of that. And here's like kind of like your landing page. That's just like letting you look at everything that you've got here. Just like in Photoshop, you've got create new and you've got some other options over here. And then you also have like some preset things down here depending on what you're going to be making. Much like with Photoshop, very frequently when we're making things for school, we're going to be working with letter size because we always hope that we're going to be able to print stuff out. We'll see how that goes with this year though. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that and click on letter. And just like with Photoshop, so I'm going to close out of that. Just like with Photoshop, I'm going to do a few things to my workspace here that, again, you don't have to do this, but it does make my life easier if I'm going to be trying to help you guys on your screens. So just like with Photoshop, I'm going to take this panel right here. These are all your tools. They're all vertically arranged right here. And just by hitting this little symbol at the top, it looks like a fast forward symbol, it's going to put them side by side instead. Now, especially with both Illustrator and InDesign, using your fill and stroke colors is something we're going to be doing a lot. And you'll notice, like, look at how tiny all of these little buttons are right now. And they'll be even smaller, like, on our screens at school. So if we click on this, it all just becomes a whole lot easier to get to everything right there. Okay, what I'm going to do is right now, there's all these different like workspaces in here. And right now it's telling me it's in what's Essentials. Now I'm old. I'm used to Essentials Classic. I've been using Illustrator so long, I'm now used to a Classic workspace. But what you'll notice is that the Essentials right now, there's really not much going on here. Versus if I go into Essentials Classic, you're going to see a whole lot more stuff over here. Now, properties and libraries, honestly, I don't use this, so I'm going to be getting rid of that to the best of my ability in a second here. Come on. Now, you'll notice I can just like click and drag these menus around. Now, I don't want properties, so I'm going to say bye-bye properties. Same thing with libraries. Click and drag that tab out, bye-bye libraries. And then I'm going to take this whole panel. I expanded that by, again, using like these little fast forward symbols. This is looking more like what I like. Again, I'm just going to do like a couple other things just because so many of these things I don't use super often. I try to keep a fairly clean and minimal workspace. This is looking a little bit more palatable to me. I like having my color out there. I like my swatches being big. I like having my layers right there. And of course, because I changed my workspace, I have to go back to that. All right. So we're in Illustrator now. Just like in Photoshop, I'll show you really quick how to just doodle in here. The pen tool is what we're going to be spending the majority of our time doing. Not going to get super in depth with that right now, but if you just want to like scribble around in here, there's a paintbrush. It's not going to work exactly like how you're used to in Photoshop and stuff like that. It's going to probably smooth your stuff out. So, you know, play around. There's shapes, there's tools. There's a selection tool, deselection tool. We're going to get all into this a little bit later. I just wanted this video to just show you how to get this initially set up and for how to get Illustrator going.